Mac is a native of Columbus, Ohio, who has decided to semi-retire on our side of the state line. I say semi-retire because he's a chef, and he spends his spare time cooking up recipes for people with kidney ailments. These are recipes that allow people to have the same foods that they love, but to have them in ways that don't make them sick. So that's the good work that Mac does in his semi-retirement time. But he's got a story for us tonight, too. So please welcome to our stage, Mac Maccammon.
Good evening. Anybody can hear me? Everybody hear me out there?
Yeah.
Well, I'm doing this story in honor of my wife, who passed away a few years ago. I'll tell you, first time that we got. Actually, we'll tell you the first time that I proposed to her. Forgive me, I'm very nervous. About 20 years ago, I met my soon-to-be wife, and we were invited over to my niece and nephew's house for a family gathering. We got there and we talked a while, and we had a lovely dinner of curried goat and roti and beans and rice. And we sat there and had a lovely dinner. Well, it was going to be family game night later on, and she and I decided to go take a walk. Across the way was a park, and it was a very nice summer night, so we decided to walk. I was going to walk off the 3 plates that I ate, the 2 that she ate, and we were going to talk some things out. So as we were going along, we were walking through the park, and she was very quiet. And let me give you a little bit of background on her. Her name was Barbara. Like the cartoon people, Hanna-Barbera, you never called her Barbara. You only got that one time to call her Barbara. Well, she was a very smart, beautiful, intelligent woman, tough as nails, and she had to be. She grew up on the west side of Baltimore, and she was surrounded by the very things that would shape her life later on. She grew up around the corner from Chief Justice Thurgood Marshall. And everybody knew, all the children knew, that when that long black car came driving by, you were supposed to go in the house and be quiet for Chief Justice Marshall, because he was home and he needed his arrest. Her mother owned a Jumbo's ice cream shop where a lot of former U.S. representatives used to come in. People like Shirley Chisholm, Perrin J. Mitchell, who ended up being her mentor, and Adam Clayton Powell. And I often wondered, with this woman who was doing so many things in her life, why in the world was she with me? Couldn't figure it out. She was a civil rights activist. She was a business advocate, and she did so many things. She helped write law, and she was just a phenomenal woman. And I often say that she was everything that I wanted in a woman before I even knew what I wanted. Well, anyway, we decided to go ahead and take our walk around the park. And she was being very quiet. And this was very, very, how should I say this? Forgive me. She was really very quiet, which was not, please forgive me. Yeah, I hope so.
We got your back.
Well, anyway, it was very uncharacteristic of her, and for somebody who talked for a living. And I just figured either she was really full or she was having an introspective moment. So, we're walking along, and time passes and we get closer to the house. And she pulls up short. And she says something to me. She says, "If you ask me again, I'll say yes." But I didn't say anything. So she says, "If you ask me again, I'll say yes." I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Remember what you asked me a few weeks back?" So I got to thinking, and I said, "Yeah, I think I remember that." Few months back, I asked her to wear a ring. And she looked at me shocked, and she says, "Well, no, why would you do that? Why mess up a good thing?" So I never gave it another thought. So here we are in front of the house, and she says, "If you ask me, I'll say yes." So I said, "Okay, I'm asking." And that was about it. Just, I'm asking. And she said yes. Now this strong woman is breaking down, she's crying, tears streaming down her face. And as we walk in the door, my family looks and, "What did you do to her?" I said, "I asked her to marry me." The women all scream, "Oh, what did she say?" I said, "Well, she said yes, of course." So all the screams and squeals from the women, they came gathered around her, pushed me right out of the way as they're trying to plan her wedding. The guys are coming over to me, shaking my hand, slapping me on the back, and "Good job, man, good job." But at the same time, I think they're constantly cutting me in the background because I raised expectations in the room. So we go through that, and everything is beautiful. I'd like to end by saying, and I know this is short, I'd like to end by saying that there are three very influential people, women in my life. First, my mother, my wife, who are gone now, and my sister Judy, who is my rock, and she's still here with us, and anything that I need, I can give it up to her. And I wanted to say that in honor of Valentine's Day, and thank you very much. Sorry.